This is Datila. It is Monday, April 29th, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw, but I'm not alone. Joining me for this review is Michael101591.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be back on Datila's reviews here.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I think the last time I was here was for Revolution.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
AEW Revolution.
All right, let's get into the draft. Tonight was night 2 of the draft. Night 1 was really lackluster, and I was kind of hoping night 2 would be a lot better, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Let's get into this. Round 1, which was chosen by Stephanie McMahon, Gunther and Kaiser stayed on Raw. So Vinci, breaking news, last draft pick Dijak is coming to Raw. Yeah, I did see
good.
that as we came on the air. I'll talk about that right now. SmackDown got Jay Cargill, no surprise there. Raw got Damage Control. SmackDown got Kevin Owens. So really the only faction switching brands in this draft pick was Damage Control. Everybody else pretty much just stayed at their respective
I wasn't
brands.
Surprised by any of this.
Me neither. Thanks, Io. Like I said, very disappointing this draft. Yeah, extremely disappointed.
I am too.
So round 2, which was chosen by Logan Paul, and I showed speed. I did like the fact that Logan Paul did tell Samantha to do a special intro for Patrick Mahomes, which was pretty cool. But Raw got CM Punk, and the crowd started chanting CM Punk. SmackDown got the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and B-Fab. Raw got the returning Braun Strowman, and SmackDown got Tiffany Stratton. Again, it's like nobody switching brands here.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So round 3 was chosen by the APA, and Raw got Rey Mysterio and the LWO, along with Carlito, which was an interesting choice because, as we saw on SmackDown, it seemed like Carlito got the boot from the LWO. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I don't think he's going to be with the faction.
Oh, wait. New drafts, breaking news. Okay, well, let us know in the chat, Ayo. SmackDown got Legado de Fantasma. So I'm actually happy that they separated them. I feel like that feud, there was the other thing that they could do was do the faction match. And so I'm really happy that they got separated. What about you?
I tend to agree. I mean, like, this draft is like, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
That's what I always say.
and it's true.
And Shinsuke Nakamura is going back to SmackDown. He had a very disappointing run on Raw. He didn't do much. He was actually a lot better on SmackDown, so I'm hoping a return to SmackDown does wonders for him, but I'm not holding my breath here.
Neither is me. Considering what they did with Nakamura on Raw, he's just been on a losing streak.
Yeah. So round 4 was presented by Alondra Blaze and Teddy Long.
Holla, 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 player.
You know what would have been so funny is if after this segment we got a tag team match, but we did it.
Oh, you ripped the words right out of my mouth because I was going to be like, we're going to have ourselves a tag team match, player.
Holla. All right. So in this round, Raw got Judgment Day, SmackDown got Naomi, Raw got Eli Dragunov, and SmackDown got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I have to say, again, the only 2 people that switched brands here were Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and Eli Dragunov. Eli Dragunov, it was expected. He was going to go up to the main roster, and no surprise, he's on Raw. There's history between him and Gunther. One of the things I did thought was funny was Adam Pearce later on in the night. He was happy.
I don't blame him.
To SmackDown.
I don't blame Adam Pearce.
No,
he can finally now take a breather.
I like Chelsea Green, so I'm sad to see her go on Raw. But hey, I can't wait for her to see what she does on SmackDown.
And you know what's good? I don't have to hear Samantha Irvin go, Chelsea Green. God, I hate that. I hated
Creed
that.
Brothers and Ivan out to Raw, Giovanni to SmackDown. That's interesting. Giovanni Vinci got sent over to SmackDown. New Cash Republic is on Raw. Tegan Knox to SmackDown. Apollo to SmackDown. Apollo Crews is okay. Katie and Katana staying on Raw.
I thought that Apollo was still employed.
Odyssey Jones, is he?
Oh wow, Odyssey Jones is going to Raw. Nice.
Wasn't he already on Raw?
I don't remember.
I think he did.
All right, can I give my thoughts on these?
Hold on. And then Jey Pearce is free from Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce is finally free from Chelsea Green.
Yeah, thank God.
So yeah, give your thoughts.
All right, Creed Brothers, Ivy Nile, not surprised. Giovanni Vinci to SmackDown. I think he's going to be buried on SmackDown. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. It was a good choice for Raw there. Tegan Knox to SmackDown. I don't know what they got for Tegan Knox to do on SmackDown. Apollo Crews. I didn't even know he was still employed with WWE. So I don't see Apollo Crews doing much on SmackDown. Kane Card Katana, not surprised because they've been on Raw. Natalya to Raw, not surprised. Odyssey Jones to Raw. And like you just mentioned, I can't remember if Odyssey Jones was on Raw or not. But if he is on Raw, who knows what they're going to give him to do. So those are my thoughts.
I am a little worried about Giovanni Vinci on SmackDown because it's him by himself away from Imperium. I'm very curious to see what they do with him. New Cash Republic on Raw is a great pick. I think that once Awesome Truth loses those tag titles, I could see the New Cash Republic, becoming tag team champions.
No, without a doubt.
All right. Round 5 was chosen by the Dudley boys. Raw got the New Day. SmackDown got, yes, Buzz, Pretty Deadly. Ugh. Raw got Lyra. I like Pretty Deadly.
Cringe. They're cringe.
All right. So Raw got Lyra Valkyria. I don't know much about Lyra Valkyria. I've seen a little bit, some of her work on NXT. I know she was NXT Women's Champion. I know she beat Becky Lynch for that title. And I can tell from what I've seen of her, she's a good talent, and I think she's a good grab for Monday Night Raw.
I agree. I think Lyra and Becky are very good friends as well.
The NXT call-ups were cool. Yes, they were. SmackDown got Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. You're going to love Lyra. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of her work. So then, finally, the 6th and final round, which was hosted by Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Raw got Final Testament.
No surprise there.
SmackDown got DIY. That's not a surprise. As Candice LeRae going to SmackDown, it's only natural that they would send Johnny Gargano. Raw got Bronson Reed, and then SmackDown got Blair Davenport. I have to say, they stacked the women's division on Raw, but the problem, my concern here is that you can have a stacked women's division. It's just a matter of booking and storylines. You can have the great talent in the world, but if you don't give them anything to do, you stick them in awful storylines, they're not going to get a chance to shine.
I agree.
Raw has too many factions. Yeah, they do.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping with the additions of Kiana James, Blair Davenport, and stuff. Oh, and Lyra Valkyria. When Blair Davenport's going to SmackDown. But I hope with the Kiana James and Lyra Valkyria, they add depth to the women's division. The talent is there. It's just we need more from them,
And you need more women for the division up there. for both.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen on NXT, like the NXT women get a chance to shine. You know, there's like multiple women's matches. It's like we need that on Raw, on the main roster.
I think NXT has a
So
very good, solid women's division down there.
sorry, my Wi-Fi is like faulty here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did we lose Datila?
Overall, I felt like the draft picks and the draft itself was very underwhelming here.
I agree. Very disappointing, very lackluster.
A lot of people didn't even switch brands.
The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that was because, you know, with all the storylines they have going on, I don't know if they just don't want to end some of those storylines, or they just wanted to keep everybody. But it's like, why do a draft then? I did like they did give us some explanation on stuff. I'll get into that as we get into the Raw review. No impactful changes other than the future of NXT. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, where's the new era? Where's this new era that they're supposedly talking about?
All right. So tonight's Raw kicked off with Logan Paul arriving with Patrick Mahomes. You know, here and Judgment Day arrive and greet Logan Paul, and they all go inside together, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
He's got to promote Prime as well.
Yeah. The old tagline for the draft, shaking things up again, definitely did ring true. Plus, Pearce and Aldis and Pearce didn't butt heads much. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So this plays into what happens later on in the night, which we'll get into. After this, we had a Becky Lynch promo. She's basically talking about how she became the man in that arena, you know, when she got that bloody face. She's interrupted by Liv Morgan. And she's basically saying that, you know, if Becky wants to give her a title opportunity, she feels like Becky owes her one. And we get interrupted by Nia Jax, which, again, I appreciate the fact that we got some explanation that, you know, this is your last night on Raw because draft rules going to affect on Monday. So I do appreciate that. But this is basically doing to set up Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this?
I thought this opening segment was just terrible. And Liv Morgan just going out there, you know, she's on her still revenge tour to get to the Women's World Championship. And Nia Jax coming out there, cutting a promo. It was just awful. Nia Jax was just awful on the mic. She was so cringe. And she was like, oh, well, I know you all in Kansas City, you came to see me. And, you know, I'm going to win the title someday. You know, it just came out as awful.
You know, I have to say, I thought it was interesting that Liv Morgan was the one that went out there. Because if you remember, when Becky Lynch was here, she was feuding with Liv Morgan like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Liv Morgan never beat her for that title.
Yeah. And, you know, Becky's still saying the same thing. Oh, well, Nia Jax bloodied my nose up. You know, this was 6 years ago. It's the only moment that, you know, people know. And that was before Survivor Series.
Wow, my Wi-Fi is like really messing up tonight.
We're losing Datila.
Yeah.
I'll take over the review. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we get Xavier Woods versus Gunther, which was actually a really good match. Damn, like Gunther destroyed Xavier Woods on this.
Especially that first chop that Gunther hit to Xavier Woods, that echoed throughout the arena. That was like a loud chop there.
Yeah, like Kofi Kingston wanted to throw in the towel for Xavier Woods, but Xavier told him not to, that he can do it. He took an elbow to the face, and they got a modified STF, and then Gunther won by submission. You gotta hand it to Woods for like trying his best, but there was no way he overcame Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther channeling his inner John Cena.
Yeah. we get a Jey Uso interview. He's basically talking about the pressure, like, for being the first round draft pick, and about how Damian Priest is going to catch a yeet down, and how he mentions how he wished they signed a Paul brother that had a winning record, obviously referencing Jake Paul. Now, if you look closely, I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't notice this until it was pointed out on Twitter, but you can see Liv Morgan and Dominic coming out of a room. So
I did see that.
Interesting there, you know. She did say she was going to take everything from her.
I think this might be setting up maybe a possible love triangle, like when Rhea Ripley comes back. I think it's going to involve Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan.
For the custody of Dominic?
For the love of Dominic Mysterio.
For the love of Dominic Mysterio. I like that. If booked correctly, it could work.
And a ladder match.
Okay.
Referencing SummerSlam 05.
Yeah. So, we get a Logan Paul promo. Let's see here. Is that me or you? Yeah. We get a Logan Paul promo, and he starts talking about how Damian Priest will beat Jey Uso. And he talks about how it was a mistake that Jey Uso left the bloodline and is incapable of becoming champion on his own. You know, this doesn't sit well with Jey. So, like, Logan Paul tells him he's been eating since 2017. Basically, the whole point of this is Judgment Day comes out, and like Patrick Mahomes gives Logan Paul his Super Bowl rings. And I like the fact that poor JD Madonna got knocked out, and then they're all just looking at him like, what? And then you see Jey Uso, like, you know, laughing, and then Finn Balor like realizes that Jey Uso was there, which was hilarious. And then we got the returning Braun Strowman, who helps Jey Uso out, which, oh my god, what were your thoughts on this?
I thought it was segment, but I really like that Braun Strowman came back. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen him, you know, on television, and you know, it was nice to see him. He has his hair grown back now, but I want to know where WWE is going to do with Braun Strowman here. You know, maybe we'll get Braun Strowman versus someone of the Judgment Day, or maybe he'll be the one to go after Logan Paul next.
Random Strowman return. Is he targeting Logan? Maybe. Kind of seems that way.
Hopefully he doesn't go after the United States Championship.
We'll see what happens, because this is so random. All right, we get an awesome truth segment, and I don't know what the hell Chad Gable told R-Truth, but he talked him into giving Alpha Academy a tag team title opportunity, and then like he starts thinking that they're part of the NFL draft, and Sami attacks Chad Gable.
I found that funny from R-Truth. He's thinking that him and the Miz are going to be traded during the NFL draft, and then Miz is like, "True, it's the WWE draft."
Right.
I just like that humor from R-Truth.
Same. I like R-Truth's humor. He's so hilarious.
And he's been there for a long while. I think he's been there since the Attitude Era.
I think he was. Then I don't know if he got released, or I think he got released, left, and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the first Booker T interview segment of the night, and he's talking about how he's like Jade Cargill being the #1 draft pick. He calls her a game changer. Now he questions what was going to happen with Judgment Day, because we know Damian Priest is going to stay on Raw. And he starts talking about CM Punk, and I like how Drew McIntyre interrupted, and he was like, "Tell me you did not just say that," which is what Booker T says.
Yep.
Which was so hilarious.
Tell me you did not just say that.
And then Booker T kind of brings up the fact that Drew McIntyre isn't champion anymore. And Drew McIntyre says that he was with Booker T back in the day and knows how he really feels about Punk. And he says Booker T has changed and walks away. So Drew McIntyre doing the best work of this run.
I agree, and he just re-signed his contract, which is good, which thankfully he did, because now we're going to be getting Drew McIntyre CM Punk whenever that happens. I'm calling it. Maybe that will happen at SummerSlam.
I think so. I think it'll happen at SummerSlam, depending on when Punk comes back. So we had Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed, which started off as a good match, but this match basically ends in no contest, no DQ, because
disqualification.
Ends in disqualification because Chad Gable attacks Sami Zayn with the German suplex, and then it seems like they might set up a triple threat because Bronson Reed hit Chad Gable with the driver. And he held up the title after Chad Gable put Sami Zayn in an ankle lock. So maybe we might get a triple threat here.
Maybe. I sense it. I don't think it's going to happen at Backlash on Saturday. Maybe on a random Monday Night Raw.
Oh my God. I totally just remembered. I just realized this was a go-home show to Backlash.
Yes. I was going to say that too. I was going to say, this show didn't even make us realize that Backlash was Saturday.
Oh shit, you're right. This is a go home show. I was like, wait. I was like, next week is a go home show. And then when you said the Saturday, I was like, oh snap.
Well, you could blame WWE for that. I don't think nobody realizes that Backlash is this Saturday.
I totally forgot.
See, even me and Datila forgot that there was a pay-per-view on Saturday. I totally put a one in the chat if you all didn't know that Backlash was this Saturday.
It was this moment I realized Backlash is Saturday afternoon. Oh my God.
I don't even know what time it's going to start at.
Oh, 1 Eastern. All right, so Drew McIntyre gets a promo. And he's talking about how, he's, shocked that he got drafted in round 3. Meanwhile, CM Punk was, drafted before him. And he calls him a coward. And then CM Punk's music plays. And, CM Punk needs to come out for a second. But he's, on the skybox. And he calls him. He says, I ain't home. I'm here. And he calls Drew McIntyre a little bitch, and then Drew McIntyre goes after him.
A little jealousy on Drew McIntyre there.
Yeah. That was great. So, we get an Alpha Academy segment, and Maxxine is, getting ready for her match. But Chad Gable basically was berating her, and he was berating Alpha Academy. And it's only a matter of time before either Chad Gable gets tired of them and he dumps them, or they turn on him.
I think that Otis and Akira Tozawa, Maxxine Dupri is going to get away from Chad Gable. I think there's going to be a breakup of the Alpha Academy.
I think so too. I think more than likely, because they're already faces, so them leaving Chad Gable kind of is they're faces already, If they were heels, I could see them leaving. But because they're faces, I think Chad Gable's going to dump them after, in my opinion, what he thinks might be, failure and stuff.
I think Chad Gable's going to form a new Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy 2.0?
Yep.
With the Creed brothers.
I can see the Creed brothers, being heels.
Yeah, me too.
And then you could add an Ivy Nile with Chad Gable, too.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. How about Carita being drafted with the LWO? Weird, especially after last Friday, right? That's what we said.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever because, he was out of the group. He was the one that attacked Dragon Lee Friday on SmackDown. So, he shouldn't be put along with the rest of the LWO. I just found that very weird.
Yeah, me too. All right. So we get a Bron Breakker interview, and he gets interrupted by.
Uh-oh.
So.
And Datila's breaking up again.
Oh, yeah. You know, I had Solitaire in the background and I closed it, so I guess it's not that. I don't know what it is.
It's probably StreamYards, maybe.
Maybe. Rey and Dominic on the same brand. This father and son feud would never end. Yeah, it's true.
I agree.
Okay. So, you can see Drew McIntyre pass by. So he was looking for CM Punk. But honestly, I would not mind seeing a feud between Sheamus and Bron Breakker.
I wouldn't mind it either. That would be one hell of a match. That'd be a banger.
Yeah, a banger. It'll be a meat match.
It'll be burger after burger after burger.
Are you just quoting Drew McIntyre?
Yes.
All right, we get Maxxine Dupri versus Candice LeRae, and I don't know about you, but I feel like this has been Maxine's best match to date. I think so.
This match was awful.
It was short. Like, we really didn't get to see a lot from the women. Candice LeRae won after she hit Maxxine with the wicked stepmother.
We saw that awful caterpillar elbow drop.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Otis does it better, though.
So, with this... My internet is not liking me today.
I like what Legend said in the chat there. A burger with a side of fries.
Oh, burger with the side of fries.
And a Coke, too.
All right, so we get an interview with the LWO. And, they're just talking about Carlito and about how excited they are to be on Raw. You know, that he mentions how Carlito has unfinished business. He gets interrupted by Dominic, who reminds him that Judgment Day runs Raw, but Rey Mysterio reminds Dominic that they haven't even been drafted, and he asks if he's got a dirty Sanchez on his lip.
That awful looking mustache.
He's starting to look a lot like Eddie Guerrero.
Maybe Eddie was right when he said to Dominic, "I'm your papi."
Maybe.
No wonder why they had the custody of Dominic match.
Yeah. I get CM Punk and Drew McIntyre segment. CM Punk goes looking, Drew McIntyre goes looking for CM Punk, and that's sweet. But as he gets there, it's empty, and, CM Punk is making his way down to the ring, and he says that Drew McIntyre is like an ex-girlfriend. He talks about how, he thought McIntyre got hurt tweeting on Twitter since that's all he does. And CM Punk referencing, I guess, his pipe bomb by saying that he's the best in the world on the ring, in the microphone, even on commentary, and nobody can touch him. And that when he's 100% clear, he's going to make McIntyre's life a living hell. And he has his back to Drew McIntyre. I honestly cannot wait for this feud. CM Punk needs to come back because I cannot wait for that feud.
This is the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. Best feud.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see this match happen. I said hopefully at SummerSlam.
Hopefully. If not after SummerSlam, I could see it happening at Survivor Series, but I feel like SummerSlam would be the best bet.
I agree. We
get Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. This was all right. But I felt like the stuff that was happening booking at Clash at the Castle or SummerSlam. I think Clash at the Castle, Drew McIntyre is going to take that title off of Priest. So more than likely it'll happen at SummerSlam. One of the things I kind of disliked about this, and I get it why they did it, was the fact that I felt like the outside stuff with Naomi attacking Tiffany took away from the match. The
only thing that was worth it was seeing Tiffany Stratton. Miss Tiffy time.
Liv Morgan was victorious. At least I'm happy this match had a decisive finish. Not like the men's match that didn't, but this one did. So I do like that.
I thought it was going to be a disqualification as well. But unfortunately, thank God that wasn't the case.
But so Booker T is interviewed again. And, he's asking about he's talking about, like, Trick Williams and Roxanne Perez. He gives congrats to Ilya Dragunov. And then Adam Pearce is like, his favorite pick was Chelsea Green.
He should have been skipping that. He should have been skipping down backstage, all cheering like, ah!
Right. So we get the World Tag Team title match, Awesome Truth versus Alpha Academy. I mean, Awesome Truth is victorious, and I think Otis and Akira Tozawa are probably going to get yelled at and reprimanded.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay match.
Yeah.
But even though it was predictable in the end, we knew that R-Truth and The Miz weren't going to lose those titles.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, we get a quick Judgment Day segment, and Dominic is talking about how they can believe they fell to the 4th round. That Priest reminds him he doesn't need help to beat Jey. And then JD turns. He's got that big old bruise right here. And then Priest wants him to stick to the plan. So there's obviously tension in Judgment Day. Judgment Day is going to fall apart. Even with Rhea Ripley, even if Rhea Ripley hadn't gotten injured, I still think that they would have fallen apart, but they're going to fall apart much sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised they didn't use when JD McDonough was hit with the rings, that they didn't use blood on that.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like with Rhea gone, they're speeding up Judgment Day's breakup.
Yeah, because she wasn't a part of the draft with them. So I guess this is maybe, now since Rhea's injured and she comes back, she'll be a free agent now.
Yeah, I could see that happening. So you get a quick Becky Lynch segment, and like Liv is walking backstage. Becky congratulates her on the win and getting a title shot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So Damage Control approach Becky, and they say that they'll be seeing her on Monday, and Becky doesn't like that Io Sky touches her, not Io Sky, Kairi Zayn touches the title, and Becky's like, "Don't touch my title."
I think it's going to set up Becky Lynch versus Io Sky.
Yeah. So the main event ends up being Jey Uso and Andrade and Ricochet versus Judgment Day. The main event was okay, but I feel like this was the main event to tell more of a story of the Judgment Day, because Judgment Day lost this. Jey Uso, Andrade, and Ricochet won, and like Finn Balor took the pin here after what he got hit with the spear and an Uso splash, and it kind of seems like Damian Priest is not happy with Judgment Day right now. What are your thoughts, Michael?
My thoughts on the match, I thought it was okay, but Judgment Day losing another match, this is just a step further into them breaking the Judgment Day up.
Exactly. All right, real quick, here's a recap of all the draft picks. If anybody missed them, pretty much, honestly, pretty much everybody stayed on their respective brands. Nobody switched, really.
No surprises here.
Yeah, no surprises here. We already, Michael and I already talked about the draft at the beginning if you want to catch that. But, Raw pretty much ends with Jey Uso and Damian Priest having a stare down. On a scale of 1 to a Shawn Spears perfect 10, what would you rank tonight's show?
Well, this show wasn't a Shawn Spears perfect 10. I have to give this show a 3 out of 10. It was a dreadful show. The draft was just very disappointing. Some of the superstars are saying on the brands that they were on. You got no surprises except for some that came up from NXT. You have Gunther versus Xavier Woods, which we've seen before, because how many incarnations of these guys do we see? With Imperium versus New Day, and Vinci, Kaiser versus Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods versus Gunther, Vinci, or Gunther and Kaiser versus them. It's the same old.
Nakamura should stay on Raw. He's been on SmackDown since he debuted. That's true, but he really didn't do much on Raw. He was actually doing a lot better on SmackDown.
Yeah, Raw they treat Nakamura like a jobber.
Yeah, he didn't win any of his feuds when you think about it.
Yeah.
Say like LA Knight.
Yeah, Nakamura should not be treated like this. He should be treated better.
I agree.
And if they don't book him right, then he's going to be on the next list of budget cuts.
Maybe we'll see. So as for myself, I have to give tonight's show a 2 because I thought that the draft was really weak overall. And the reason why I gave it a number 2 is because I totally forgot this was the go home show to Backlash. Like, this Raw did a terrible job at selling me Backlash. Like, I'm more excited about a Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud than I am about Backlash. I've always said, and you know that as you've been watching my reviews, and anybody who's watching my reviews, the purpose of the go home show is to sell you the pay-per-view. If they cannot sell you the pay-per-view, then it's a terrible go home show. Had this just been a regular Raw with just like a draft Raw, I probably would have given it I probably would have been a little bit more generous and given it maybe like a 5 or a 6. But the fact that this was a draft Raw and the fact that this is the go home show to Backlash, I cannot give it a 5 or a 6. This is a 2.
And Backlash is feeling like it's going to be a throwaway show.
So yeah, this is not a good show.
I agree with you on that. But yeah, good old-fashioned Bret Hart 4 out of 10 for Raw.
All week, we bragging about the draft more than Backlash, right?
Yeah, the draft overshadows Backlash.
And I'm not even going to watch the go-home show to SmackDown. I mean, the go-home show to Backlash for SmackDown. Mm-hmm. All right, so get ready to wrap up. Where can people find you?
Well, you guys can find me at my channel here, Michael101591. I do movie reviews. I do wrestling reviews, WWE, AEW, Monday Night Raw every Monday, Dynamite every Wednesday, SmackDown every Friday, premium live events for WWE, whenever they come. I do DVD Blu-ray updates. I have old school commercials that I upload to my channel. So if you if you come over to my channel and you guys like what you see, give me a subscribe.
Yeah, check out his channel. It's a really cool channel.
I appreciate that.
As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter at Datila_. I talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA, Impact. As far as tomorrow is concerned, yes, I will be covering NXT Spring Break-In week 2 because somebody decided Spring Break-In needed to be 2 weeks, apparently.
We all love when Datila reviews NXT.
But don't get used to it. Man,
throw one in the chat if you wanted to review NXT every week.
You know something? One of these days, I'm going to make a Patreon, or when I get monetized, I'm going to make a members only section, and I'm going to make you guys all pay for those NXT reviews since you guys want me to review NXT so badly. But yeah, so I'll be live. I think I'll be doing a simulcast with A Plus Hero Report. So I'll be live here and on A Plus Hero Report covering NXT. Wednesday, I will be reviewing Dynamite. Thursday, I will be reviewing TNA Impact over on Body Slam. Friday, I will not be watching SmackDown as I will be covering TNA's Under Siege.
I'll be reviewing SmackDown on Friday, so you can check out my review come Friday.
You hear that, circus? What circus?
NXT. That's what he's talking about.
New era of tomorrow night. All right, but with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. If they continue to support, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow after NXT Spring Break-In. Bye.